Good afternoon, and welcome to the Boring Millionaire podcast. In today's segment, Investing in the World Around Us, I want to discuss Visa and why it is an important company to be involved in. Now, quite frankly, who doesn't have a Visa card? Visa is the leader in the credit space, as well as they have their name on most of the debit cards in this country. Visa is the leader in the credit debit space, and they do share the market with MasterCard, Discover, and Amex, but they are the sound leader and have been for over decades. I do think that momentum is certainly going to continue moving forward into the future, and I do just want to say Visa is something that we will need in our lives forever. Visa is never going to go anywhere. They have their staple in the credit industry, and with that, they create a part of our day-to-day lives because they shape the society that we live in. Now, the reason I want to do this segment is because it is important to take a look at some of the companies that mold our day-to-day lives and ask ourselves, wouldn't it be wise to own a piece of this? Because that is exactly what you're doing. If you own a share of Visa, what you're doing is owning a piece of the procedure every single time somebody does a credit or debit transaction. If Visa's name is on that card and that card is being used to conduct a transaction, you are a part of that by owning a part of Visa. So that's why I always like to say, invest in companies that mold our day-to-day lives and shape the world that we live in. Now, looking at Visa a little more particularly as a stock, it is trading at its one-year average. Now, I am a big believer that you should be buying stocks when they're trading at their one-year average because simply said, it's at its average for the year. It's not trading at insane premiums or at deep declines. It's at the average. So it's a balance. It makes sense to me. And I would also like to go a step further and discuss the trading analytics, which are the nerdy chart stuff that I like to look at. But what that nerdy chart stuff is telling me is that Visa is primed to be bought right now. It first fell to these levels about 2-3 months ago, hung out there. It rallied up, did a little rainbow, and then fell at these levels again. So what that is called is a double bottom, and the fact that it's doing that on its one-year average is screaming to me, this is a perfect opportunity to be buying this stock. So not only is Visa stock primed to be bought at these levels, it again shapes the way we live in our day-to-day lives. So that's one important thing to keep in mind when you're investing in the stock market. You don't need to know the inside of Wall Street. You don't need to know crazy economic stuff. All you need to know is that you're going to use a Visa card nearly every day of your life, just like all of your American neighbors. So for all of those reasons, Visa is a company that I have held for well over a decade and intend to hold until I'm in a coffin, quite frankly. So with all things said, I'm a big believer in Visa and I'm pulling the trigger on it this week. And if you have any questions about Visa or the stock market as a whole, feel free to find me on Facebook, Instagram, or Threads and ask away. I am here to be your resource to becoming a better investor and strengthening your financial future. If you would like to see any other episodes of the podcast, you're more than welcome to find them on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. My mission isn't just to make you money in the stock market, but it's also to make sure you feel confident about your money. I want to make sure that you can begin investing in a better financial future for yourself. So thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you next week.